Right guys, I'm just going to show you a quick vital part of this exhaust bending thing here. Let's start again. So yeah, just going to show you a vital part of checking these exhaust pipes. Basically what I do is just get them all out on floor, get some bricks out, get some blocks of wood, get some packers, check them all that way before I put them on bike. So I've got them here, they're looking good. I've been checking them all morning, been checking them all this flipping nightmare, I've been tweaking them up, tweaking them down, trying to get them right, using other bits of wire just to check like the port angles, stuff like that, which is this one. That there fits in the ports on both sides. So I've just been putting that in and then checking them when they're down on floor, checking them from top down with that. So what I'll do now is I'll point camera at floor and I'll show you the nightmare of checking pipes. So if I get it down here, that's what we're looking at. I'm going to try and balance all them on them bricks. Like I say, it's just a nightmare. This is where you start banging your head against the floor. So I know I need these two. That's been a little shim that I've been putting in as I've been doing it. Got all these little bits of flat bar there. So the hardest bits, because one passes through the other, doesn't it? So I can't put the left on and then put the right on. I can't put the right on and then put the left on. You've got to put them both together, and then like do this bit of a lift up job, which that's a nightmare when they're all on. So if you just tweaked that bit there and it's still red hot, it's where you end up with burnt fingers. I end up with burnt fingers a lot of the time. There's like a little bit of a rock in it there. But it's just it's the weight of this front bend here. He's trying to rotate it round there in the port. One of the things I've got going on here is I've got this here to check the angles. That angle there looks doable, but I've got a little bit of a safety measure. Yeah, I know you can't see my face, but these bit here, I'm going to chop that off. That's probably only going to go in port that far, and this bit here is damaged where I've had it in the jaw at vice. Same with that section there, that's damaged from jaws at vice. That's the bit that go in the head. So what I'm going to do is, I'll probably, once I've got them in the right place, I'll probably chop that off. I'll put some spigots in the head on the bike, and then weld these on, which will give me a little bit of adjustment. If it wants to go up or down or back or forwards, I'll just grind this off at a bit of an angle and then tack it on before that. Tack it onto the spigots that are coming out the head, which will allow me to adjust it a bit better than just going straight onto the pipes. Because I think there'll be a little tiny bit out. Trying to get them to match up perfectly like the customer wants is tricky. It's this tricky. You can't just bend one without having a look at it, how it looks with the other. And the other bit is like that wants to slide about. I think that might want that bit of chalk underneath there. Right, now we're looking somewhere. That's looking somewhere near. I'll take camera off tripod, I think, and just give you a quick look. Let's check that with that bit of angle. So yeah, they'll go in head then, and probably clear the frame. So I've marked that, that's roughly where the frame is. And I think it was set off the frame a little bit, so it would actually sit about there. So this one wants chopping off, wants the cap chopping off, that one wants a load chopping off. And they'll just go, I think. Right, let's have a look. Oh, we're a bit tangled on. So from side on, this is why I need the packers in there. They're big packers, them. I don't know what that would be, about 8mm bar. Oh, what have I got there? I think I've got 4 3mm, so that might be a 10mm bar. They've got 4 3mm packers in there. That's actually 12mm there, and that might be a 10mm bar. But they look like they were the same size when I put them next to each other, so maybe that is 12mm bar, square bar. So yeah, I need a gap, because basically we're going to put a silencer here, and it'll have 2 pipes in it. I can't put the pipes one on top of each other. The pipe's going to need, the inlet pipes on the silencer, they're going to need a bit of a gap in between so I can weld all the way around both. So I need to run that gap all the way around. That gap there on the front's really nice, which is what it looked like on my wire pattern. You see how that bend that's going away, still follows the curve of the bottom bend. I'll try and get that better when it's on the bike. I'll try and get that better. That'll be one thing I'll try and look at, but as it is, it still looks nice. It just sits in the middle of it all. This is what the customers, that bit there, if we look at it from there on, that bend there will follow the casing hopefully, and then that bend above it is bigger and follows the pipe below it. That's what the customer wanted. And then he also wanted this. He wanted them to line up from top down. They're a little bit out of line, they're not absolutely perfect, but I know what he meant. He meant don't have them staggered, don't have one over there and one over here. He wants them to be sat on top of each other, which they are. Again, if you look at them from there, they look sweet from there. They're following each other all the way down there. I'll chop them off halfway so that the back of that top pipe's a little bit out of line with that bit, but here you won't be able to notice that. And then the other nice bit, I think, is that bend only comes out as far as the rest of it. So when they're sat on there, that pipe will come through here. The other pipe will come out as far. The other pipe, this pipe that's the big hoop, will come out so it crosses over, so you won't be able to see that pipe disappearing into the background, hopefully. So that'll be like that angle that you're looking at there. You see, you can't see the pipe going into the background. You just see one pipe in front of it. Then from like the top on, I think that's got everything in it that he wanted. So my next challenge is to drop the sand out of it. Take the sand out of that. Let me flip me around. We'll take sand out of it. I've checked it a million times, and I've checked it a million times. I'm still not right sure, but yeah, I've got that little bit of leeway on the putting the pipes into the head to start off with, the little spigots. I'll just risk it that might be able to bail me out, because you can just keep checking them for days and days and days and days. At one point you're going to have to empty sand out and fingers cross it. So pray for me, pray for me. I would say, boys, chaps, you're all chaps, aren't you, that are watching this? Pray for me, chaps, pray for me. Right guys, this is a bit of one of them. There's a bit of nostalgia for you. I used to do these on my stories on Instagram. It's a going home update. So I'm not going to pack up. I'm going to do another hour, but I'm going to turn radio on. Me and my brother have been talking about MotoGP, so I'm just going to stick MotoGP on my phone, get it to play Fruit Radio, have a little listen to like pundits or whatever they're called, pundits talk about who's going to be next best, what they're going to do about these sprint races, what problems they've got with front end washing, all that kind of shit. Yamaha under power every year, innit? On the front end washing, Ducati million bikes on the grid. So yeah, we're going to go through. I'll have a listen to that. So I just thought I'd give you a quick little update of where I am before I stick radio on full blast, because I can't do radio on video at the same time, can I? So let's have a look at it. It's been trying me. From here it looks all right. You're probably thinking, no wrong with that again. A few of these videos I've put up and people have said you're too much of a perfectionist, but that's what I'm known for, so we'll stick with that. So them pipes, they follow the casing. Let's get zoomed in on them. I've got a nice little perch leaning up here on the bench. They follow the casing nice. They're a nice set of pipes, to be honest with you. The only issue I've got is that battery box there. You see that battery box is flat there, and then my pipes are cutting up across it. It's annoying because they don't even follow the back rail here. If that back rail went up a little tiny bit, then pipes would be all right. They'd just be like just kicking up. The kick up on them's totally fine. If that were on any other bike, it'd be totally fine. But I know the guy wants a silencer to cover that battery box, and then it wants to sit underneath that rail, so it's going to be parallel with that rail, I think. So I need to try and address that. I'll say my calculations have just been like a degree out or something like that again. A degree out or a mil out or something's just not quite worked out right. So my issue is, like I say, I want both them pipes to come down, just so that they follow that. You see that battery tray, seat top at battery box. It's not a battery box, it's just a block of wood, but we're using it for clearance. And wants it to skim along with that back rail there. and it's just rising up a little tiny bit, and there's a couple of ways of sorting that out. The problem is, every time I try sorting it out, it fights, it does something else different. So this is the problems we're making these crossover pipes. My first issue is they don't, well they do. Before I've just pulled that packer out, so I've messed it all up completely. But they line up sweet there. You see how both of them bends are both going woof over the top of each other. So they're happy there with them being kicked up. This pipe here, I've stretched that bend out a little bit. I've just pulled on it, put it in vice and pulled on it, and that's allowed me for that one to drop. But then to get the other one to match up, so that one I'll be happy with that, because I can alt the rest of it on silencer. So that's good. That's his imaginary silencer, and that's sitting level with rail there, and it don't look too bad at where it's going in. And actually the gap isn't too bad, because he's showing it a bit like that, you know, like, well, he's not, he's showing them both on bottom half of that silencer there. But they need to be spaced out slightly. But yeah, I've roughly got that going on. These are sat really high up off casings, aren't they? So I have got a bit of room. I could go up, I suppose. But either way, I need to get it to sit level. That's what we've got compared to that picture. So I come back, and like I said, my gap's ever increasing here now, innit? It's not too bad, but if I pull that down, there's a way of doing that. I push that up, I think. Yeah, if I push that up, that then comes down. So I could probably do that, to be honest with you. I could get away with doing that. And then it's a little bit more level, but the gap's just a little bit off then. And the other thing it does, because I've pushed that pipe down onto the casing now my lines are slightly out. That top pipe's starting to creep out over the top of the other one, which is annoying. Tell you why it's annoying, because there's another slight issue I've got, is I've got a tiny gap here. I don't mind it, the gap's that's big enough. I won't mind it being a little bit smaller. So I come round here, and if I chop some off there to make that gap smaller, what it does is it pushes the pipe that way, and then on that side of the bike, that's obviously, if you look at the bike, it's diagonally that way. So then when you come out round this way, I'll have to stop video because battery's running out, it comes this way, which then means that top pipe, it'll be more off level. So ideally, I need to push that pipe out a little tiny bit so that this goes in a little bit. But then what it'll do then is it'll butt up here, because it'll move out and forward. So then it'll butt up here. So then I'd pull that pipe out a little tiny bit, which I've been doing. And then it all flipping goes to cock again. It cocks up all the gap. So it's been a lot of that. It's been a lot of fighting. As they sit there, that's probably going to be about as good as they get, I think. I wanted the gap to be a lot less than that through there, but I do also need both pipes to be spaced out on that silencer. So same again, if I get silencer there, that's roughly what his picture shows, and then I can get them to go in at like near enough 90 into that silencer, and it's not kicking up too much. So I think I'm going to have to go with that and just try and manage that gap. So this is what's happened now, like that bit, because I've pulled it out, I've pulled that pipe out. That pipe's gone that way as well, and it's creeping out this way. So now that pipe's sat further in than the other pipe, so then I'd have to push that in, and then it don't quite line up at the front. It's just been a struggle, a proper struggle all the way. And the main issue is that when you push that down, it goes up at the back, and then when you lift it up, so we go right up, then it goes down at the back. And then that's the same with this one. If I go in with it, it kicks up. Oh no, if I pull it out, it kicks up, and if I push it in, it kicks down. So when this pipe's sticking out too much, I pull that out to meet it, and what it does, it kicks up at the back, and then the only way I can get it to meet it is by pushing it in, which then it's out of level. So when the guy's on it, he's wrote on here, I want them to be level from the top. I don't know where it says that, but it says it somewhere. It might be, it's on one of the many pages. And that's why they're generally not level on the top, is because of them, because it's a crossover pipe. They tend to just be wherever they are, and that gap just wherever it is, because like I say, if you push down on that end kicks up, if you push down on that end kicks up. So you've just got to balance it out and get somewhere in between. I'd say if that were an off-the-shelf pipes, they'd probably be a lot worse than that. So what I'm going to do is plug my phone into the radio and spin myself round. I'll say goodbye. Bye. Yeah, I'm going to go and listen to some MotoGP. Get myself updated because starts tomorrow. Practice on tomorrow. I would have thought, is it Friday tomorrow? I'll have a bit of practice tomorrow. There we are, a bit more focused. I'll probably go home and watch a bit of that tomorrow night, and then we've got sprint races on Saturday, haven't we? So yeah, I'm going to get myself up to date. So yeah, have a good one. Right guys, not got much battery left. Just doing a quick intermediate update. I've realised I've got 2 videos on my computer, which are the end of them Northern videos. I've not updated them in like a week or 2. That Northern's not been here in a week or 2, I don't think. But they're that long. I was trying to keep it down to 40 minutes, and then when I uploaded all the videos onto my computer, it come up saying 2 hours 20 minutes. So I thought, right, I better spend some time trying to trim that down. Where I'm going to sack that off because I've got a load to do. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to post them up. It'll be an hour and 10, something like that. If you watch them, you watch them. If you don't, you don't. They'll just be there for historic reasons. But yeah, I've got some really interesting jobs to do. So I thought I'd better get firing, get that camera out. Battery's on like minute amount. I think I've left it on while it's been in my bag. But I just thought I'd just show you what I'm on with at the moment, because it's going to get crazy this next week or 2. Oh, the next month's going to get crazy. So I was doing my video before this when we're doing this Greeves, this Grumph, which I can show you now. I'll show you that now. See how much battery, see how long this will last for. That's the Greeves Grumph there on top of the bench. But then I've had that turn up, which is a brand spanking new. One of them, it's a Royal Enfield Interceptor 650 twin. It's that brand spanking new. It's still got price tag on it. Or price tag's not on it, but it's just come straight out of showroom. So I've got that to do, and that's going to be a rush job. Need to get that done before Easter, which is like 10 days away from now. Basically, it wants a full stainless system on. I don't do stainless, and one of the main reasons I don't do stainless is because I've not got the stuff. So I've had to order it all in. I'm waiting for it all to come in today. This is some stainless steel wire wool for me to do silencers with. I've cut out some. I've actually got a sheet of stainless, so instead of laser cutting out bits, I've cut out some patterns here. I've drawn them up on computer. All kind of rush jobs. I don't think anyone could do me laser cutting in that amount of time in 10 days. So I've just bit the bullet and thought, right, I'll just cut them out in mild steel. Then I'll draw around them. So I've had paper patterns I've done on computer. Drawn around and made mild steel patterns. I'm going to draw around them on some stainless. They're going to make the silencers. I've got a friend off Facebook's going to laser cut me the collars out of stainless, because that's another thing. I need to get them laser cut. This here is another pattern I've drawn up at the same time. That's a pattern to do this Grumph silencer with, which none of it's focused in. But I'm going to do that while I'm waiting for the bits. Got my name stamped on it. That's on back. That's going to be where the frame goes. I've got some little ends to punch some holes in, put them on ends like that. That's basically just while I'm a bit of downtime. So like now, I'm waiting for stainless tube to come in, stainless perf to come in. So I've just been messing about with this, just getting it somewhere near, and then I can carry on with that while I'm waiting. That's going to be a little tricky bit at the back. It's got a little cutout. He wanted a cutout in it there for where when back wheel comes up, so chain guard don't hit it. So that's going to be a right fancy fabrication. But yeah, my main one is I'm going to sand bend some pipes for this, and it's going to look fantastic. It's going to go in a show. It's for a Royal Enfield competition. Apparently it's going to go India, that is, for a bike show in India, which that's going to be amazing in it. So I really want, that's my top priority. But like, I wish I were on it today, but I'm literally waiting for FedEx to come with some tube. I'm going to start sand bending it tomorrow. So I even said all that fast, didn't I? So yeah, I've been out with like my heart's been going for the last few days, just trying to get all that stuff done. I've got these to make in stainless as well. Sure, flip it around again. I've got them to make in stainless, which is another video. There's some Honda CB500s. He wants them in stainless. So when I got that job, I thought, oh, wicked, I could laser cut the Enfield parts with them CB500 parts, And then with this Mega, that Mega's come all the way from California. Some guys brought it over on a plane for me. He called into, is he an English guy? He's come over to see his mum because his mum's ill. So he dropped that off with, he's made that in Cali, and then brought it on plane with him, dropped it off here. We basically said, if I'm getting all this laser cut in stainless, then I might as well just draw that up in stainless, make that in stainless. I say I don't do stainless because everything I've got in the all the workshop, it's all mild steel. So if you said, Ben, can you make me a mild steel exhaust pipe? I can jump on it tomorrow. And if anything goes wrong, I'll just get some more out and carry on doing it. With stainless, I've had to, like, this wants 2 pipes. I've had to order 3, just in case one of them goes wrong. You need a backup plan. If anything goes wrong, I'm in the shit. So I've got a sheet of 1mm over there, letting up against the wall. I'm going to use that to make silencers. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, I've got all the flipping bits to make it. But yeah, I've checked, double checked, triple checked my list. Oh, I am scared. I'm a very scared boy at the moment. So yeah, I'll try and video it as much as I can. In fact, I'm going to try and video all this Royal Enfield because I said to the lad that's giving me a job that he's going to film building the bike up as a custom. So if I can put a bit in of me doing the exhaust pipes as well, he'll be happy with that. So I'll try and film it all that, and then yeah, I'll just try and do the Grumph at the same time, and say I'll just dump the Northern stuff on it on YouTube. Watch it if you want to watch it. Don't watch it if you don't want to watch it. And I'll try and stop talking as much and try and make them less of a video. But some bits, like I'm not going to set me. I've already done that now, haven't I? I could have filmed myself doing that, but I've just done it because I'm running low on time. So I just do it. Right. So that's me out. I'm going to stick battery on charge, and I might film a bit of me putting this together first, otherwise there won't be no footage for that Grumph, will there, which is halfway through. So, right, pray for me boys, pray for me. I'll see you on the other side. Right guys, I'm going to do it, welder's on, got all these bits out, still waiting for the tube to come. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon now, and it said it'd be here before dinner. It's still not here, so my plan is just crack on with this a little tiny bit. Basically, I'm just going to start welding it together. I'll weld that up the back of there on my bar over there. Then I'd say welding that end, but that end wants some collars putting on back of it, because I'm going to try and make it so that the pipes are internal. Instead of welding some collars on the outside of it, he wants it dead clean looking. So if I weld the pipes onto that and then weld them on the inside of it, then that makes a nice clean joint with some spring hooks, top and bottom to spring it on with. And then obviously like try and suss out how to weld in that little piece that goes on there. That's going to be a bit tricky and want a bit of it'll want a bit more shaping before I can get it in, I think. And then this one wants a fold put in on it, because that one's going to go on end of there like that. So that one will want a fold put in it. So I'll suss that out. Basically, if I can get that just put together into some sort of form, then the next time I have a bit of downtime, I can just have a play with it. But if you have a look over there, I don't know what you'll be able to see. But as I showed you before, yeah, the Enfield's in front of the Greeves. So when I move, I don't want to be doing too much on Greeves because the Enfield's in the way, it's all locked up. But once I've moved the Enfield out of the way, I make a start on Enfield, I can actually get to Greeves, and then I can start making a bit more of this together. So what I'm going to do now, yeah, like I say, I'll just pop this up bar, I'll get TIG weld right, and we'll start doing some shit. So I don't know if you'll be able to see bar. Let's see if I can get you all angled up. You're just going on a bit of a wander around workshop there. So that's my bar there next to yellow cone. I'll get rid of yellow cone because it's a bit distracting. That'll be a few weeks on yet, that. In fact, he said he's coming back to England in June. He's going back home to California in a week or two, and he's coming back in June. So I've got till June to make that. So if I just zoom in on that bar over there, that's where I'm going to be doing. That's where I'm going to be doing shit. So let's get that on there. See if I get my gloves out. Just get a tack on it. Shouldn't be too much of a drama, that. Other thing I should do as well, it's a new thing I've noticed for videos, is I should probably stop talking and then I can just speed it up. I'll speed it up, I sound like a chipmunk more if I'm talking. So, like even this, mate, that looks like slow going video, doesn't it? You probably skip through this bit, but I'm still just chatting away. Well, really, I could just, if I stopped chatting shit, I could just flip and edit myself out of it. So right, we've got a load of gas coming out of that for some reason. I'm going to go and check gas. Right. Get some gloves on. Got a bad cut on that finger. Right, wants attention, but I've been flipping too. Hey, tell you something, my video's running out again. That must be that crap battery. So I just get a couple of tacks on this and then you're out of here. Right guys, Vinny, you can see red light flashing on it. I'll take that off, let's have a quick more look at it. Get you around to me. All sorts of mad angles on that camera, but yeah, it's tacked together, so it's in one piece. Battery's flashing like mad, it must be my shit battery. All the battery's on charge. Can't see what's going on. Again. Basically, I'm just going to crack on. I'll show you where I am. I'll just have to keep updating you. Less showing you how to do it, more showing you what I've done. I think just because then it times nicely with battery. It times nicely with just doing intervals, that kind of thing. I don't know, but yeah, I'll just crack on. I'll show you when it's done. Right guys, update. Still waiting on this tube, man. Still waiting on this tube. FedEx. I don't think there's a few courier companies that know where we are. FedEx, I don't think he does. And I think I might know the lad. I think he might be local, and he might be a bit of a dosser. He basically said it come yesterday, and I weren't in, but I were in. So it went back to depot. It's supposed to come again today, but God knows. Only God knows. I think they'll get there in the end. I think I had the same problem last time I ordered some tube off this company. They used FedEx and it took a while to get here. But we're in a secret base, aren't we? Secret location, so even couriers can't find us. So that's good to know, isn't it? It's good to know if you don't want the robbers to find you, but it's not that good if you've got flipping urgent bits of stainless tube on way. So I'm going to crack on today. I'm going to get these megaphones made up. I'm going to get stainless sheets out. I've dragged stainless sheet out from the back of that polisher. I'm going to throw it down on the floor now, clean it off, it's full of dust. Start marking out these megaphones. I'm going to speak to the lad, see if I can put my name on them. I won't mind putting my name on them if they're going India. But that's all. I'll put my name on them. It's whether I can stamp them on front face or on back face. I'd like them up front, obviously, but it's up to him. I think he was going to use S&S, and I like big companies like that. They put the names on. They don't give a shit. They just put the names on. They're like, you're buying it. It's got my name on it. So I'm getting a bit like that. My tank toggles are like that. I've got to sell them to a couple of people, a couple of shops, and they asked me to not put my name on them. And I got to the point where one day, I was like, nah, fuck them. I've got 40 here. I'm stamping fucking my name on all 40 of them. And if they want them, they've got my name on them. If they don't want them, well, that's it, innit? Go somewhere else, but you can't get them anywhere else. So they didn't have a choice. So yeah, they're all stamped up with my name on. So I'm going to stamp my name on. I've pulled Enfield out, which means that the Grumph's out. But I'm going to leave the Grumph for another day. I could get sidetracked on that, and then when it gets to end at Enfield job, I'll be like, fucking hell, I wish I had a bit more. I'll be thinking that anyway. I'll be thinking I shouldn't have done that flipping silencer yesterday. But hopefully, fingers crossed, I've still got enough time. But it's cutting it fine now. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with these megaphones, get TIG welder out, start doing a bit of tacking, a bit of purging, a bit of shaping and that. I don't even know what I was going to say. Well, this was nice, weren't it? Let's talk about the Grumph. This whole thing. I'm happy with that. I come in today again and I thought, that's nice, that. You just look at something and you just think that's a nice bit of kit, that. And then, best bit about it is, like, I made that. You surprise yourself sometimes. You just come in and you just think, oh, that's tasty, innit? And then, yeah, you look at it and you think, fucking hell, I made that. I'm impressed with that. I'll flip camera around, I'll show you. That bit there, customer asked me to put that bit in, it's to clear chain guard. And yeah, that bit there, it's a trick little bit, that, innit? It's just a little cutout. Old-fashioned way of doing that, just whack a big dent in it, but yeah, I did it all on CAD and then printed it out on paper, copied that onto steel, worked it all out. That bit there, that bit there is old-fashioned because I whacked that on, that little lip. Basically, yeah, I didn't have an inch and a half die to cut that hole, so I did it at 1 3/8 and then just whacked it open. Best way of doing it, and then you get that nice little lip, and then I braze a pipe into that, and it'll look sweet. The customer that's for wanted it to look. Did he say factory? I don't think he said factory. I think he said works, comp shop stuff, and that definitely is competition. That is full competition. He said basically he didn't want it to look like a shit off the shelf armours pipe, so I'll flip it round. I'll give you a better look at that, and then we'll have a quick look at bikes, and I'll get cracking on. So yeah, this is it. It actually reminds me of stuff of when I was doing I've done design all my life, so like at secondary school, and then at sixth form, and then I went to uni. Always done design, and you draw stuff up like that, and then they'd ask you to make it out of cardboard, or you'd make it out of a bit of flipping foam and paint it, or something like that. Bit of MDF and paint it, and that looks like something I would do, you know, like a bit of a modelling exercise. But yeah, it's made out of steel. It looks proper, doesn't it? It actually looks like, if I were skilled, if you could put a little screw neck on top of that and a little cap, make an excellent flask, that, wouldn't it? It's a nice tasty thing, that. So yeah, that's it. It's going to go on here. Grumph's out. So I've got them twin pipes there. Trick little bit about this is the pipes, you won't be able to see them, but that's got internal collars. So instead of having the collars on the outside, they're inside. The collars go up to here where my thumb is on inside, and it's just going to sit there like that. So if you see them two holes line up with the two pipes, then that bit there finishes with frame, tidy, and then that cutout is for when that chain guard comes up. So there's half a gap. You can't really see it, but yeah, where them pipes are running down now, that might be. I'll show you this way. Yeah, it focuses all over. Sure, basically I've got it set on my face, and then it don't like it if it's not got a facing. But yeah, them pipes run half and half over the top of that chain guard. So the back side of it wants a bit of relief on it for when wheel comes up, because the chain guard's attached to swing arm. So when wheel's going out over bumps, if it takes it scrambling, it'll do that. It'll come up to there. See, you get what I'm saying? So then that's why that, if you imagine that flip round, has got that cutout in. It's going to sit there, and it's for that when that chain guard comes up, it'll slip on the inside of that. And basically, he's worked that out on the card as the guy that's restoring this bike, or the guy that's building it for the customer. He's worked it out, and that's the line there on that piece of card. And when I put that on there, you just look at that, like, lines up perfectly with me pattern. Like, it starts in the same place at the top, and then down here at bottom, you can see that there, can't you? It's absolutely spot on. The only thing I've done different there is I've trimmed a little tiny bit off the top of it, like 1/4 of an inch or something, just because it didn't need to be that wide, and because the pipes are running high on it, I'd never have fit it in. It's just basically the way the pipes have run. The pipes are running up slightly. They're following that chain guard, and he's done it like that wide. It would have got up to there too fast, so I've just skimmed it. And then, basically, because the tailpipe wants to go through there, so there were no point in going above that line. So I might have skimmed 1/4 off the top and 1/4 off the bottom. But yeah, it's just going to have a little tailpipe turns out of there, and that'll be that. But that's might have to leave that for a week now. So I get a lot of people saying, like, when can you do it? How long will it take? Well, like, I've spent a few days on that so far. Make it a week with that silencer, and then I can't carry on with it, because this is more important at the moment, doing this Enfield. So I'll just get this Enfield done because it's more urgent. I know that Tim will be all right with that Grumph taking a bit longer than it should. So this needs them stainless pipes sandbending on that are in post. Megaphones putting on, but I need to speak to the customer because the pipes need to whip up here, up high, to make it look really racy. And when the lad that's building the bike, he's chopped them rear pegs off, but this is a brand spanking new bike, so it's got rear pegs on there, and that's going to get in way of my pipe. The only thing I can do is whip that peg off, whip this peg off, which means taking all back brake off, I think, to get it out of the way, which, that's a bit more than just making exhaust pipes. It's stripping down a full bike. Not a full bike, but a new bike. Bit risky on my part, because you see me workshop, it's rough in it. And yeah, working on new bikes is not my thing, but I do have a brand new 10 tool set that I've not used yet, so at least I've got the tools for the job. So that's that. Basically, get it back onto me, and we'll all have a little prayer again, fingers crossed. Let's hope that FedEx turns up soon. I'll whip the sheet out, mark out some patterns. Them patterns I've got on bench, hopefully they'll be in stainless by next time you see them. I'm going to speak to Guy now, see if I can put my name on them, and I'll update you again soon.